Welcome. Our guest today is Dave Andreychuk, and we've been trying to pin Dave down since we started doing this
for a few weeks now. Yes, I am happy to be here, fellas. Very happy.
We finally trapped you.
Yeah, those handcuffs to the chair aren't hurting you, Yeah, you got me.
The Lightning Audio Network presents Martini Mondays with Phil Esposito and Bobby the Chief Taylor. Have a seat, grab a cocktail, and enjoy the show. Here's Espo and Chief.
Okay, so we talk a little bit about this year's team. Dave mentioned a little bit. They went on a run here that probably solidified them in the first wild card unless something really drastic happens.
Yep.
And do you think it matters who they play?
I would think the whole conference would be like, I sure don't want to play them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Right? Like, you're in a wild card spot. I feel like Vegas kind of is the same out west. Yep. Maybe not as much. They don't have the goalie we have. But I think that and I think that they know it too. Yeah. The team knows it. We need to get into the playoffs and we can beat anybody.
Yeah.
There's really nobody in the conference that scares me. Florida's playing good, but can we beat them in a 7-game series? Absolutely. Rangers are good. You know, Carolina's probably good. I mean, they might be the team that could be the hardest to play against. But, man, I'm sure when you guys were sitting here a month ago, you were like, is this team going to make the playoffs?
Exactly.
And now where we sit after this, like, unreal road trip that they had, and they beat good teams, too. It's not, yes, it was San Jose and Anaheim, but LA was a really good team. Vegas is a good team. Obviously, what happened in Florida. So impressed, very impressed. And I'm sure that they're also thinking it's a perfect time of year to be playing our best hockey.
Yeah.
And for me, because I watch Vasi like a hawk. And, when he was first coming back, what made him so good in my mind was the fact that he found the puck quickly and waited till he found it, then moved. Mm-hmm. And when he was finding the puck, he was out at the top of the blue point. So even if he didn't see it, he had a lot of his big body to block it. When he wasn't playing well, he was back in closer to the goal line. Yeah. So when he didn't find it, they had more area to shoot at. Now he's back at the top of the crease again. And when he finds the puck, he's so quick to left to right or right to left, the side to side. He's so quick at that. And he's starting to play like we're used to. We get spoiled by watching him because this guy is
my only criticism, I have two criticisms of them. First off, they pass up so many good opportunities to shoot but other teams are doing it too. It's just the name of the game, I guess. Mm-hmm. Either that or we just don't see that maybe the lane is blocked. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Or we are, it's hard to tell. You just don't know. And secondly, why in hell we keep passing the puck backwards in our zone? Bust me to no end. Because you can't make chicken salad out of chicken poop,
Yeah, I know.
Well, I will say this about that. I think that the system, and maybe I'm wrong, this is just, what I think, and I think this is how the system and analytics change our system is we do not want to put the puck off the glass and out. We have a better chance of turning the puck back and hanging on to it and making a good play. And they've been told that, and that's the way the analytics tells us, and that's why they do it, which it blows our mind when you and I watch. Yeah. And then because sometimes it does go back, and next thing you know, it's in or end for another minute. But that's the way they play.
Like Kuch. He's a pleasure to watch. He's really, but he has been on the ice for more goals against and 5-on-5 than any other player in the league.
Okay.
And it's going to cost him the heart.
I will say this. Yes, you're right. The one stat that he probably is not real fond of is he leads the league in giveaways. By far, like 20 or more than anybody else. Know. They have had 14 empty net goals against.
That line?
Well, he's on the ice.
Yeah, you're right. Oh, you're
Oh,
right.
really?
Well, of course,
Okay,
that's-
so now
they're trying
let's
to get a
think
goal.
about this. The 14 empty net goals that they have. We know that Cooper likes to pull early, right?
Yeah.
And we know that they get scored on. It's worked out a couple of times, but
Yeah.
majority of the time it doesn't.
It doesn't.
It
you're right.
doesn't. Cooch is a +1
Without them.
with
With all those.
with 14 against.
That's what I mean. With 14, he's
Yeah.
still
Yes.
+1?
Correct. Now, what is he 5-on-5?
Yeah.
You take, and I mean, you can't take them all away, but you think about those empty
But he's
net
not
goals.
my problem
No.
because he makes up for it
Yes, he
on
does.
his offense. If he
Yes.
wants to give the puck away, give the goddamn puck away. but
Right.
Make sure you get something good or go.
Well,
and
if
he
you
does.
give the puck away once every 9 times, I'm taking that
Yep.
because he's going to make a good play.
I absolutely
He's gonna
agree,
make a
because he's
good-
going to make two
Yeah.
out of 9 good ones.
Right, right.
So, he's double.
I don't know if I was a coach and I could handle that.
It's hard.
It must be really extremely hard.
Yeah.
But I think you got to look in the back of your mind of how many good plays that he makes. I was amazed at those guys. And remember, it's Point, it's Stamkos, it's Hedman. They're all on the ice for those empty net goals. And if you take away those empty net goals, I mean, their numbers look
that's
so
true.
much better
Right.
than they are. And
And I think, the only thing that I really worry about going into the playoffs is stop Cooch, stop Point,
yeah,
and don't get penalties. You're probably going to beat us. So there's got to be, and I think Duclair has been a great fit
Oh, yeah.
because it's allowed Hagel to go with Cirelli and
Correct.
Stamkos, but Hagel's scoring is drying up because of it. Right?
yeah, yeah.
So,
We need
Where
to
do
be
you go for
a 2-line team.
yes, we need it.
And every team that wins in the NHL has 2 good lines
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
and at least 3 good defensemen. Maybe not 4,
Yeah,
but you can put
you
somebody
gotta
on the ice.
absolutely right.
Always, you can either, let's go back, you can either have McDonough or you can have Hedman on the ice against all their best players.
Exactly.
Every shift.
Oh, there's no
And
doubt.
that's
we
the way
missed McDonough.
that- Yeah.
There's no doubt. But salary cap, the way things are, that's just the way it is.
Yeah, it's just the way it
You're
is.
going to lose players. People ask me, oh, why'd you let this guy? How come you let
Yeah.
that guy? I said, listen, in the first place, there isn't a general manager in the world that wouldn't have gone for 2 Stanley Cups and a final trip right to the finals the 3rd year in a row without giving something up.
Exactly.
You would have done it. Every general manager would have done it. Okay? And you're going to have to pay the piper sooner or later.
Yeah.
So maybe we're paying the piper with not the drive choice. But you can't argue with BriseBois picking up Dumba and Duclair here
Yeah.
and really didn't give up too
I was
much.
shocked, really.
I was shocked too,
to
David.
think that they have no cap room, they have no nothing in the minors to
Yeah.
speak of, and they got no draft picks, and you still pull off a deal where you get 2 quality NHL guys that have fit into your lineup. Now, if you put Anthony Duclair on in Boston, will he do as well? Maybe not.
Maybe not playing.
If
plays
put
at
Dumba
point.
somewhere else, maybe not. But here they might fit well, right? So it's
Isn't
been
that
a
funny how you can fit somewhere, boy,
Yep.
and
Yep.
just like this, it fit in there. And because, I mean, for me, getting traded to Boston, my only thought was I was in first place. We ended up first place in Chicago. I made 11,500. I'm going to Boston. Didn't make the playoffs. I'm going to make $9,000. I'm going to lose $2,500. That in those days, that's what it was.
Oh,
folks,
yeah.
believe it. And that's what my mindset was. Hell, I can stay in the steel plant and make $12,000 a year, and be in the union and have a job forever. Now, those were the thoughts because I didn't want to go to Boston, last place team, couldn't win worth. And Bobby was there, but he was 18 years old.
Yeah, I know.
well, these guys are now like they just hit the Powerball.
Yeah.
Anthony
Yes.
Claire just like hit the
Hit
Powerball.
the- That's exactly.
Like I'm now going to be on a team that can win and
Yeah.
has won, and I'm playing with Kucherov and Point. Oh, I mean,
that is
well,
the Powerball.
I just, you know what I'm saying? Like, good for him, right? And that's the situation I'm saying is he gets put in that situation. he's going to thrive, right?
Yeah.
If he gets put in another situation, gets traded somewhere else, it might not be the same for him. It happens, right? I got traded to Toronto, right? I was in Buffalo 14 years almost. Time to go, time to move on. I go to Toronto in my first game, I'm with Doug Gilmour. And I know Doug Gilmour.
Yeah.
We played against each other in junior. And I'm like, all this dude wants to do is find me. He just wants to pass to me. That's all he wants to do. And I'm like, this is great. Like, what could be better, right? I'm just going to go and stand in front of the net, and this guy is going to find me.
Yeah.
And that's the situation I went into, right? And it worked out perfectly for me, right?
That's what's with Duclair.
Right. It's the same type of thing.
Just going to find him.
Well,
Well, you know what?
When I got traded to Boston,
Yeah.
Harry Sinden took me in training camp, and we're sitting there, and he says, I'm going to make you a scorer. I said, what? He says, you're going to be our scorer. I'm going to get you 2 guys to get you the puck. I want you to stand by the hash marks. Don't get too close. Don't get too far out.
Find that seam.
And he says, I'll put Kenny Hodge with you, which was good. Then the first guy was Tommy Williams, Ronnie Murphy.
Ronnie Murphy, I remember
Remember
him.
Ronnie Murphy?
God, he came over. Did he come over just right around the time you came from Chicago?
No, he was there the year before.
Okay, because he came from
Yeah,
Chicago.
yeah. Ronnie was there the year before. In fact, Ronnie passed away. He fell down the stairs and got all messed up.
kidding.
Yeah. Anyway, then Tommy Williams, who was
I remember
one of the only
Americans in the league at the
in the
time.
league at the time.
Yeah.
Bomber was funny. We call him Bomber. There was nobody that had a bigger stomach than this son of a- I'm telling you, if he got speared, they couldn't get through the muscle for 7 inches. I'm telling you, I couldn't believe. I mean, I was big, okay?
He was Santa at the Christmas party then.
I'm telling you, he could be. He was some character, I'll tell you that. Oh,
Going back to this team, I mean, I give this group credit too because they've won a lot, and I know you get a little
hard to continue.
right, and you've got a target on your back every game, and the will to win in the Hedman, Stamkos, Kucherov, Point, Sergachev, Vasilevsky. I mean, all of these guys that have had a lot of success, their drive.
Yep.
To continue to keep playing. And I get it in a sense that, yes, I had one little sip of it. I would have loved to have 2 other sips of it.
Yeah.
But
Think about it, the only team that never got to defend the cup.
yes, we did. And that was
Jeez.
unfortunate. But, I give this group credit, and I think that the whole conference is like, oh boy, here we go. This team is starting to play well right down the stretch when it matters, and they're going to be a tough out.
Yeah, because the Atlantic Conference, you played Buffalo, Toronto, Boston, Tampa. So 4 out of the 6, right? There's 6 teams in the conference.
In Ottawa.
In Ottawa, you played there too?
No, I didn't.
We got back-to-back with Toronto. Or not back-to-back, home and home with Toronto left.
Oh,
Yeah,
you played.
I'm talking about him
Yeah.
playing on
Yeah.
teams
sorry,
in
yeah.
the
I'm sorry.
Atlantic.
Yeah, the
Division.
only team that I played, remember, Toronto was also in the West.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
right.
Toronto was
Yeah,
in the
what's
West at that
That's
time,
right,
which was
yeah.
terrible.
That was
Oh, my
insane.
gosh.
Well, when we first got in, that's what they put us.
Yeah.
Yeah,
which
that's
was,
right.
just
yeah, the
weird.
travel was terrible, yes.
I have to add something just to the current team here. I'm absolutely amazed what Julian's done, BriseBois.
So am I.
And think of it, we're all ex-players. I remember him having a press conference, gosh, I don't know, it was this year or last year, when it was, but he made a statement that just kind of hit me like a brass drum. He said, my obligation is to try and win with this core as often as we can. Now think about that. Back when we played, Andy, and Phil, you especially,
what you're- what
they
you're
traded
te-
guys
what you're
right off the
telling
bat.
me-
As soon as
Yeah.
we lost that cup, when we were in Philly, we lost that cup to Montreal in '76. Boom, 4
Yeah,
guys
a lot
were
of
gone.
guys are gone.
So what you're telling me is Julian doesn't care that he's giving away every draft pick
I know.
possible for the
Well,
next.
he does. I know. I mean,
So you know what I mean? Like, yeah, he's giving away.
That's what I said, though.
he's giving away a lot of picks.
Sacrifice to win
right.
at that time.
And I think, and you're right, I think any GM would do the exact
Same thing.
but thinking as a player, Wouldn't you feel, hey, wait a minute, this guy really is trying to make us win again, and he did it again this year. I mean, some of the stuff
Definitely.
that he
You know
pulls
what I
out
tell
blows my mind.
Toronto fans, and I tell New York fans specifically? I say, Toronto, you haven't won from 67. You know Tampa Bay Lightning have won 3 in this 30 years?
Yeah.
3. Rangers have won 1 in the last 50, 60, 70, 60.
Well, they went 92?
94, they won.
94.
They won from 1940. So they won from one cup from 1940.
Okay.
Okay? And I says, in the
I'm going to
Tampa Bay
talk like
Lightning-
that too, actually, when I go travel a little bit. I forgot all about
Yeah.
that. Yes.
I mean, one
know.
cup. Teams have never won the Stanley Cup.
Yeah,
They've been in there
agree.
from the beginning.
Yeah.
You know, Ottawa's got to the finals. Where have they? They came in with the same thing as us. So when people, and they do not give the temp. In my estimation, I listen to a lot of that talk radio and with the NHL network
Oh, yeah.
when I'm driving.
Yeah.
It's like we don't hardly exist.
Nobody watches us.
What did you call us? You call us
Oh, by the way, team.
the by the way team.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, by the way,
But
I just won another cup. Oh, by the way, they just
I
won
will.
another game.
I will say this. I think you're right. I think the national media might not give the love to Tampa, but I think the hockey world absolutely does.
I agree.
If you talk to any GM, who do they want to be like? Tampa Bay Lightning.
Well-
you talk to any player,
Yep,
who do I want to go to if I'm a free agent? I want to go to Tampa.
absolutely. Did.
So, in that sense,
Hannafin
and
said
they
the same thing.
Yeah.
He wanted to come here.
So is that the culture?
No,
That's how we started the
yes,
culture.
it is.
that's all I know is ever since 94 or it's 2004 when they won the Stanley Cup
Yep.
with those beautiful jerseys.
Yes. Well, I will say this: the new third jersey.
That's
what
what
do
I'm
you-
It
gonna
is
say.
beautiful.
Make that
All
one our
right, yeah.
jersey.
I agree.
Make that one our jersey.
Chief, you're preaching to the choir
I
here.
know.
No, that's not going to happen. But,
See?
but
Stevie Austin, get that organ music going. And if I'm preaching to the choir, like, come on, get that organ music going.
I think that you're right. I think that there are a lot of national media guys out there, and especially north of the border,
Yep.
that I don't think get. I think they understand who we are. They don't want to give us the respect. But I think in the hockey world, I like if you talk to
agree.
players, you talk to anybody, like, this is the place to play. They now know the ownership. They know it's a winning culture. To me, again, there's 3 reasons why you want to play somewhere. One is you win, which is the most important.
important.
2 is you get paid,
Yep.
which we're paying all of our players. And 3 is your wife likes it. So who wouldn't like
There you-
who wouldn't like
it?
Florida?
Yeah, I know.
It's 3 for 3.
The other day, I'm listening, and they're talking about what the Florida Panthers are doing with minor hockey over there, up and down the East Coast. We never talk about what the Lightning have done up and down this coast in Central Florida. It me off to no end.
I hear you.
It does. It aggravates the hell out of me. But if you bring it up, and if you're being interviewed and you bring it up, well, you're pouty wouty or whatever you want to call it. But one of these days, Chief, when I say sayonara to the whole thing,
Is that on your list?
oh, it is. I got 2 on the bucket list. One, a little note to the referees,
Oh, yeah, I
and
can't
one
see.
to the league.
What'd you think of the torch thing the other night?
Well, you know what? We know Torts, and he's fine. But you know what bothered me more than anything? I know the referee, Macaulay.
It
And
wasn't him, though. It was
Yeah, it
the
was.
guy.
No, it was Macaulay.
I was told it was the other guy. I was told it was the other guy, and Macaulay went over
No.
and told Torch to keep quiet because the other guy called the penalty.
It's the reverse. John Macaulay, or Wes Macaulay called it. He was the guy that was sitting in that damn little circle by the penalty box there. That's like if you were a kid and your mom and dad told you to go sit in the corner, it was a timeout. That's where the referees go for their timeout.
Well, they won't let you talk to him unless you
Well,
got
all
to
he
see.
wanted, but see what I got me was, and he
It was a
wanted
bad
them
call.
but
It was
think
a bad
about it.
call.
How do you get a 10-minute misconduct for tripping?
Yeah, it was a bad call. I think it was a bad call.
Yeah,
Now,
it shouldn't
should
have-
I don't
Torts
understand that.
freak
That's what he
out?
didn't understand. He
Yeah.
wanted to explain. He wanted Macaulay explain it why you called.
Well, let
it
me
10
ask the
minutes
question.
later.
Because I'm one of the worst bitchers in the world of referees. Okay, I always have been when I played too. Would have changed his mind?
No.
No,
Never in a million
No.
years.
You're not-
you know how fiery.
You know what people used to say? Well, you do it for the next time.
That's right. Yes,
Yeah.
you put the thing in his head.
In his head.
Now,
That's it.
this is the same guy that kicked John Cooper out,
Sure, twice.
right? And Coop doesn't call him by his first name. Calls him number 4.
Number 4.
Really?
Yes. In the interviews, you see it. That number
Why
4.
is he rated one of the top officials?
And he's
in the league?
been in the Stanley Cup Finals for like 5 years in a row.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't understand. His dad was a hell of a referee, John. Oh, he was funny. We used to have a.
But I felt I wanted to bring it up because there has been a lot of talk about us being in the suite when John got booted out,
Oh.
and they put the camera on
Yeah,
us, and we're all
because
laughing.
Jay said
yeah,
he
we were all
called him and
laughing
said,
in the suite. It was great, right? Because we're all looking at the thing, and we're like, Torts,
Yeah.
And then I said to Jay, maybe I'll send him a text and see if he wants to come up. And Jay goes, I think he's a little hot right now. I think he's a little hot. I said, yeah. He came the night before to our
He was
induction.
terrific.
He was awesome. He always is awesome. As you guys know, we know him better than the rest of the hockey
Listen,
world.
I like him a lot.
Oh.
Sometimes I don't understand why the hell has he got this thing for me, but
Again, not perfect timing on his behalf to get booted out of the game
No.
on
I have to-
04 celebration.
I have to tell this story because, Andy, remember when we were having the 10-year anniversary of the Cup, and we were I was talking with Torts. Rick and I were down
Yep.
when he was he with Vancouver then?
Or Columbus, maybe.
Columbus, maybe. Yeah, probably Columbus. Anyway, and I said, Torch, we'll see you on the date, whenever it was. And he says, no, I'm not coming. I don't think they want me to come here. I said, are you crazy? I remember you came down. I said, Andy, he says he doesn't come because he thinks you guys don't want him to come.
Yeah.
And he said, he's nuts. Do you know what was really impressive to me? And he had a tumultuous relationship with the team that year until February or maybe March. Anyway, and there was like 10 or 11 guys texted him or called him to say you have to come to that 10-year anniversary.
Well, he came the night before. We had a dinner the night before. We were at Fleming's, right? That was our.
Oh yeah.
That was our. We had a dinner at Fleming's before round 1, dinner at Fleming's before round 2, dinner at so we went back to Fleming's in 10 years, and we had texted him to come. He didn't feel very warm until there was a bunch of guys that texted him and said, no, you need to come. So he ended up coming. We sat down. I think he was a little in shock of actually went on that season that he never knew about. And he was like, what? And I said, oh, yeah, you know that game you know that game in Calgary, 6-2, Marty 3 goals? Well, it was a 4 a.m.er for us. You know? He had no clue, right? He had no clue what was going on. So I think it was good for him.
Yeah.
And the guys all wanted him to be there, and it was fun. So I mean, in his case,
look,
he's still kicking around, still got this team. I sent him a text the other day and I said, you got nobody on your team and you're still, in the playoffs.
Because he holds players accountable.
Yeah, right.
And that's an unheard of thing nowadays.
no, I think he's a great coach for about 3 years.
Oh yeah.
yeah.
And then players
Oh,
just get tired. The press gets tired of him. I watched a press conference the other night on my phone, right? Guy asked him a question about something, and he stood there looking at the guy, maybe 10 or 15 seconds, not saying anything, and just turned around and walked away.
No, somebody
I
will
like-
put all of those together. Yeah, somebody
I
will.
laugh at those.
Yeah.
You know?
The one in New York, he challenged
Larry Brooks.
Larry Brooks.
yeah.
Please, he's a guy that
We'd all like to take up behind the woodshed.
yeah.
And give a little,
exactly.
Yeah,
he was just a troublemaker
right.
and looking for trouble.
Yeah.
And that's the way it was. And that's what I found with New York. How everybody's trying to get a different angle, and they could leave out one word of something you said,
Yeah.
and it
Yeah.
changed the whole meaning of what you said.
What do they call
Pissed
this?
me right off.
That's why these kids have cliches, Phil. They just say the same
They're
thing.
taught that when
That's
they're
right.
17, 18 years old.
They say the same thing over and over again.
Thank you for listening to Martini Mondays with Phil Esposito and Bobby the Chief Taylor. New episodes drop every Monday in your favorite podcast app. And don't forget to tip your waitress and leave us a 5-star review.